Hi everyone, welcome to Forbes Flash. We often talk about billionaires here at Forbes, and this week is no exception. From Trump's purported wealth to a fortune made via the trendy beverage kombucha, here are the stories you don't want to miss. Donald Trump's finances were back in the news this week thanks to a blockbuster report by the New York Times that revealed that Trump listed $1.2 billion of losses on his tax filings from 1985 to 1994. At the time, the young businessman appeared by himself on the Forbes 400 list of richest people for the first time after inventing a fake persona to lie about a transfer of wealth from his father. 5 years after Forbes fell for that ruse, we published a story uncovering the trouble brewing inside Trump's empire. The profitability problems exposed by writers back in 1990 are still making headlines almost 30 years later. We published that cover story online for the first time ever this week, and I think it's worth sharing the closing sentence of the story. Quote, "When Donald Trump looks back someday, this artist of the deal may well remember 1990 as the toughest year of his life." The writers at the time could have had no idea that their story would reemerge in the way it has, with Trump as president of the United States, the public calling for him to release his tax returns publicly. You can read the whole story on Forbes.com. Do you keep up with the world of crypto? You may have heard the news of a hack that was reported this week by cryptocurrency exchange Binance. In what appears to be its largest hack to date, 7,000 Bitcoin were lost, which translates to around $40 million. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao says a single account was affected, and no users will be affected. Lost funds will be covered by something called the Secure Asset Fund for users. According to ZZ, the hackers used several techniques over a long period of time, including phishing and viruses. Further review is to come. Quote, "We must conduct a thorough security review. The security review will include all parts of our systems and data, which is large." You might know that Ashton Kutcher was one of the earlier investors in Uber thanks to a 2016 Forbes cover story that called him a startup star. But he's not the only celeb to get in on the ride-sharing startup. Gwyneth Paltrow, Jay-Z, Olivia Munn have all confirmed that they're Uber investors. These A-listers join other big names like Leonardo DiCaprio and Beyoncé, who are rumored but unconfirmed to have invested. The bets they made years ago will likely pay off when Uber starts trading. As of filming, it's scheduled to IPO today. And as of May 9th, the company said it was targeting an approximately $90 billion valuation. Makes sense that A-listers could spot the appeal for a black car service on demand earlier than most others. The idea of it being a limousine at the push of a button did cause some early onlookers to pass on the deal. Now we know that their instinct turned into powerful investments. And now onto someone who's already made a billion-dollar fortune, but without the celeb status. Meet George Thomas Dave, otherwise known as GT. He was the first to put kombucha on the store shelves in late 1990s. First, if you're not familiar with kombucha, it's a tangy, tart, fermented beverage with humble origins in the Far East. Kombucha has undergone a rise in popularity in recent years. There are now more than 350 kombucha makers in the world. So how does GT stay ahead of the curve? He refuses to pasteurize the beverages, though it would make them easier to ship. He scaled the company while staying true to himself and the company's origin story, something that's helped him define their next moves too. And even though companies have come calling with acquisition offers, GT isn't interested. Along with fighting off competitors and finding the next big thing, he speaks with the calm of a seasoned entrepreneur. "I'm not in a rush," he says. "I don't have to answer to anybody." Thanks for watching. Find these stories and many more on Forbes.com, and be sure you're following us to get updates all day long. See you next week.